Good morning, people. My shirt's falling off. What are y'all doing? See my gold teeth. My gold teeth. It's January the 2nd. It's evidently Wednesday. I thought it was Thursday, but it's not. I'm here in Florida with my parents. That light on my chin is terrifying. And we're going on a Disney cruise today. I know. It'll be exciting. We hope. Had to do a wee bit of lying. I did say Amos was totally potty trained. But I mean, he has to get in the pool. He will not poop in the pool. He gets out to poop. So if he does that, I'll change it. I missed y'all. I've been doing these supporter videos because that's going to be my bread and butter for the year. Hopefully raising some money for Amos's service dog, and have a new assistant that's helping me with Amos, but some with my blog. Hi, Rebecca. Rebecca is a supporter. She was already in the video. So I did this video this morning. And normally supporter videos are like, we're in Key Biscayne. Normal supporting videos are like us in the pool or me interviewing my husband, which is quite entertaining, or my dad. Though he's not even safe to interview because the things he says, and if anybody tells him this, I'm going to shoot you. Or me losing weight. Because today I realized I weigh like 176 and Amos weighs like 40 pounds. So I need to lose a whole Amos. I mean, that is a lot. I'm not going to start today because, I mean, who wants to start in January? Then you just fail and feel like a loser. Maybe in February. Supporter videos are hilarious. Or you showing us women in thongs. Rebecca, don't say that. I was at the beach and doing a little videoing in Miami. These people don't wear bathing suits that are large. But maybe if my fanny looked that good, I would wear those bathing suits too. Listening to the current dating rituals. Yes, supporter videos heard this morning. We had a topic of current dating in 2018 because this good friend of mine came over last night, and she's 44. She's beautiful and brilliant and smart, and she's never married, and she would like to be married, and she was telling us about dating. I mean, y'all have no idea until this baby. Well, you're having a baby. You can be fat as a pig, and people will be like, you look great. I'm not having any baby. I've gained enough weight to have like twins. Anyway, we're going to hit education in a minute, but let me just say, do you know what's going on with dating these days? If you do online dating, evidently, before you've even met the person, men send pictures of their penises to you on the phone. I would die. Why do they do that? Look, Rebecca, I love you. And the supporter videos have the kids on, and they are hilarious. Yes, they are. Approximate cost of a service dog. It's about $70,000 total, but I think we have to raise $17,000, and we're working with hopefully we've applied to work with a group out of Wilmington. That's inappropriate. I know, it's even inappropriate to discuss right here, but we have to talk about it because it is serious business. They call them dick pics. I mean, who does that? And what is that picture supposed to do? You couldn't end up with somebody like that knowing they sent you that picture. I mean, what kind of person are they? Anyway. Maybe I'm old. I mean, I am oldish. Sick pics. So anyway. Oh, Shanna, I'm done. So that's the kind of stuff we talk about on supporter videos. Things that aren't appropriate for public. But here's something that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about education in North Carolina. Now, you know that I love public education. Now, I never went to public school until graduate school. So public education is sort of a new thing for me, but I have 4 kids in public school. And I worked a whole lot on it last year. And then about November, I got tired. I was like done in. The more you look, the more like horrified you are at what people are up to. So I took a break. And you know, 4 kids and it's the holidays, which is like bad. So I'm reinvigorated to attack education. So this morning we're going to talk about 10 things that can easily be done. And people always say, well, what should we do? So I'm going to tell you. 1, you find out who your rep is. Like mine is Steinberg. I can't wait to show my husband this morning's video. Oh my gosh, you're going to show him that supporter video? He might need to become a supporter to allow that to happen. And Jessica, and look, y'all would much rather talk about that. That's why you need to become a supporter. That's where you get good gossip. This is just educational. Find your local rep, like mine is Bob Steinberg. And now we have a senator in my area. You find these people, you send them an email, a Facebook message, you contact their legislative assistant, you set up a meeting. If you don't have time for a meeting, set up a phone call. I mean, people can talk. And you tell what matters to you. Now, if you don't know what matters to you, I'm going to tell you what should matter to you, and that'll make it easy. Number 1. What was number 1? Shit, now I can't remember. Number 1 is you work for us. So people, when you vote, you are voting for people to make decisions for you. So when you vote, please ask questions. Good questions. Like, what do you think about early childhood education? He never responds to emails. Yes, so if he doesn't respond to emails, then don't vote for him. And encourage your friends to email him too. Call him out. People didn't start responding to me. I'm getting bit by something. People didn't start responding to me until I talked about it on my social media. Now this fall, I really tried to, I was like, maybe I'm going to try to work with these people. No, I can't. I'm unable to work with people because you just can't. And I got in trouble, I think, because I said Mark Johnson was like Hitler, and I shouldn't have said that. But I mean, the reason I said it is because it's hard to talk with someone that has such different goals than you do. So I'm not saying it now, but it's tricky. Now, we've got a few problems. So, research. Research is abundant and wonderful, and it tells you all the things to do to have a good education system. I mean, it's really not that hard. You can look at other countries, particularly that are doing great. Public servants need thicker skin. Yes, they do, James. And so Finland, for instance, Finland gets all the hype because Finland doesn't start teaching reading until 7, do a lot of play-based stuff, which we know from Frank Porter Graham is awesome. High quality child care programs, access to pre-K, developmentally appropriate pre-K, like Amos goes to. All those things make kids good students. But instead of using that research and building an education system, we have a bunch of people that we've all elected, and they don't know diddly squat about education. I mean, I'm sure there are a few, I don't need any mean messages, my daughter, I know there are exceptions, but generally, people in politics don't know about education. And it's hard for educators to win, like my friend Jen Mangrum, who ran against Phil Berger, because they don't have support of the party, whichever party it is. Now, I'm sneaky because I have a social media platform. Not that I'm running, but that's tricky because you can get to people the way those Republicans spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, or whoever. They have a better chance of winning. So anyway, there's my Sprite. And look, people are like, oh my God, I don't want to hear about this. Well, you're going to hear about it anyway. And so instead, Phil Berger did the Read to Achieve business. Read to Achieve is basically, let's teach kids to read really early and test the hell out of them, and then they'll be smart. Okay, when all Phil Berger's cronies in the legislature heard him say that, one of them might have said, what does the research say? Is that what they do in Finland? No? Oh. Instead, people were like, okay, I'll vote for it because I owe him a favor. Oh my gosh, it's dumb. So now it's failed. And this is a lot of your money that's wasted. So you might think, I don't care, I don't have children, nah. You pay taxes. If you are watching this video, you pay taxes. And if you don't, let me know how you can get away from that. So we have a failed system, and we have a superintendent who is very proud that he works with the legislature so closely. And in general, in a way, it's kind of nice. Like, boy, they could really work together. Well, they're working together to harm us. That's why they didn't like June Atkinson. I mean, I wish I had known. June, if you're out there, I'm sorry that I didn't support you, because you were doing your damnedest and keeping quiet about it. The only thing you should have done better was to be vocal about how the General Assembly was trying to screw us. And again, not everybody, but at least 80%. Now, if Mark Johnson wants to win or stay in his job, because I don't think he can win. I think people can say they've had enough, and I told him this. He has a legislative assistant that I've met with several times, Kevin Wilkinson, who's very nice. What he should do is say, you know what? We really fucked up education. Let's look at the research. Let's bring play back to kindergarten. Let's have centers. Let's have markers and crayons and pens and set up stores. Let's do all this stuff. And then kids, when they're in the 3rd grade, will read. Now, my son, Thomas, was in kindergarten, and he received services because, he couldn't read. And I knew, because I have a PhD, and I said this to school, he's going to do fine because the research says in the 3rd grade he's going to surpass his peers. So last year in the 6th grade, I think Thomas was number 2 in his class in reading or English, and he has dyslexia. So my own tiny little microcosm of research has worked. It's not that hard. Our biggest problem, which no one wants to talk about, and if anything, your politicians are trying to totally, I don't know what they're doing, save themselves, is poverty. Oh my gosh, poverty is linked more to academic outcomes than anything else. So what can we do about that? You say, how can we do that? Well, you provide high quality childcare, pre-K programs. You look at some old research studies, the Abecedarian Project, the High Scope Project. They will follow these kids for 30 years, much less likely to go to prison, more likely to graduate from college, all sorts of wonderful things. Jennifer said teachers are tired of fighting this battle. Yes, Jennifer, you are. And that's why I want to encourage people to support you. And it is tiring and exhausting just as a mom and a blogger. I mean, my whole career to me is to share things, and it is exhausting. I'm not trying to do anything else. I mean, raise children, 4 children, not successfully, but I'm doing the best. So anyway, so this past year, the federal government handed North Carolina $70 million and said this is for early childhood. Great, and I haven't written about this yet, but I'm going to. But I was tired. Here's $70 million. So North Carolina put that money in a pot and said, thank you for the money, put it in early childhood. Well, then they pulled out $50 million and used it elsewhere. So they had a chance to give kids way more access to pre-K. And not only did they not, they essentially stole money legally so that they didn't have to. Now, why is that? Why would they not want our state to do better? Well, if our kids did better, then there would be less support for charter schools and school choice. And now this new thing where you can have segregated programs in little communities so that you can really keep charter schools going. Now, charter schools are not bad. I like charter schools. What I don't like is the reason that politicians support charter schools. When they say, I like school choice, what they mean is so-and-so owns that building and they're going to make $25,000 a month, and then they're going to throw a party for me when I want to be governor. That's reality. I mean, I'm telling you, I've never been a conspiracy theorist, oh God, there's Amos, kind of person. But holy shit, the more you look into it, the more you realize that it's dead on. Donna Doherty, we all know it's about politics. Your blankie's in the washing machine. I know it's annoying, but it's in the washer. Go ask Mamie. See if it's ready. Go ask Mamie. the blankie has to be washed like every, month, and it's real hard to get it away from him. I clearly chose the wrong time. Now, so right now we have a charter school that's just closed in Rocky Mount, Nash Edgecombe, and none of the teachers got paid in December, and they're not going to get paid. How does that help any of us? That doesn't help public education at all to have that happen. And a lot of those schools are really targeting impoverished populations, which is even scarier, because who's making money? I mean, if you're making money off school, you're in trouble. This Team CFA, it's bad news. Greg Sanders was terminated from his job in Indiana. Terminated, fired, because of corrupt behavior. And now he's like leading the charge in North Carolina? I mean, you guys, you got to stop this. And he's supporting Dan Forest. When you start looking at who's supporting who, you need to get nervous. Seriously. Nervous. Now, Eric Hall, he's a nice guy, and I really like him. And I think the concept of the Innovative School District is good in a way that there are some schools in rural, impoverished communities where the superintendent ain't doing nothing. We know that. So good, put pressure on them. But like my school has just been targeted as needing, something. It has nothing to do with my teachers. If anything, I can't imagine where I would get to see a better group of teachers. It has everything to do with poverty. Why aren't there any poor performing schools in Chapel Hill? Why don't teachers there get chastised? Why aren't schools targeted? I don't know, maybe because 50% of the population is AIG? Like, this is a real conversation to have, yet no one's having it. I mean, I almost feel dumb for having it, because it's like telling people that if you feed your children Mountain Dew at bedtime, they're going to bounce off the fucking walls. I mean, duh. Anyway. And I used to think politicians, I was like, they're smart and they're amazing. And I have some friends, like a good friend just became mayor, and like, he's really bright and brilliant and awesome. And if you can get those people in office, you're great. But in North Carolina, a lot of people are in politics because somebody in their family was. And they want the license plate. Sorry, but it's true. Now, and that goes into my third point. I don't know what point I'm on. But do not apologize to teachers, and don't blame teachers, and don't call teachers greedy. Let teachers teach.
Adrian?
Yes?
I don't know what name is.
He wants his blankie.
Well, it's in the WASC.
I know. Well, will you show it to him again that it's in there? They want the status. And, oh, Maria's here. Maria's husband's the mayor of Key Biscayne. Yeah, I mean, like, there are people that care and making a difference, and they have to run. And maybe I'll run someday, but I just can't right now.
Amos, let me show you the blanket. It's wet.
Amos and Miss Blanky. We might just have to give him a wet blankie. So, now I'm all distracted. Teachers, just let them teach. And don't make them teach kids to read. And now we have the superintendent that's buying iPads and visiting the Apple headquarters. I mean, who in the hell needs to visit the Apple headquarters to learn about iPads? Hello, Google. I mean, that's embarrassing. He shouldn't do things like that. So you can choose, don't vote for them. Ain't becoming a mayor, Maria. I'm shooting for the governor. No, I am not a teacher, but I worked in public schools. Now, another real problem in North Carolina is school safety. We have this $5 million app that the legislature agreed to build $5 million to develop an app. Uber cost $1.6 million to develop. Uber. Y'all have probably heard this ad nauseum, but Sandy Hook Promise is a free app, totally available. Well, the real deal is, and Donna and Kim Martin didn't tell anybody this. Now, her husband's a Supreme Court Justice for North Carolina, and he is very nice. But the fact that they're married is a little bit telling of why she's still in this job. I mean, she just has some random college degree, and she's head of the Center for Safer Schools. Holy shit. So anyway, she wants to build a call center, and she didn't tell anybody in the government And again, why didn't people ask questions? To run a call center in North Carolina so that kids can report bullying, drugs, bombs is going to be $3 to $5 million per year. Well, they got like 166 tips when they did it for 4 months. So let's just say they got 1,000 tips for the year. For $5 million, 1,000 tips? Yet the app is free through someone else? Also, we can like have this big building and have it over at Kim Martin's Safety Center? No, 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 no. So I want you to call your reps and your senators and email them and say, I do not want a call center for Safer Schools. I want Safer Schools. I want to know about Sandy Hook Promise. So people were asking about it in the last state school board meeting, and I'm going to the one in January. And she didn't have a good reason of why they weren't using it. So anyway. Now, one of my last points is do things because it's important and not for politics. Don't mollycoddle Kim Martin because her husband's the Chief Justice. Say no. You know, we're not going to pay this woman $80,000 who won't do her job. She'd gotten this grant. So I write all this stuff. And the way you know that it's true is I never get any like letters saying I'm lying. They just hide. They won't talk to me. They make me talk to the communications person. They don't answer the phone. That's a real problem too. DPI and Mark Johnson most of them don't have voicemail. Get some frickin' voicemail or somebody to answer the phone. That's annoying. Anyway, Kim Martin got money from the Governor's Crime Commission. This is years ago. A past employee told me this, to upfit some schools for kids with special needs. I have a son with special needs. So they get the plan together, they go spend the day there, and they said, you know, we're going to spend $3,500. And Kim Martin said, oh, no, you're not. That $15,000 that the employee had written a grant for and received for a purpose was never used for its purpose. Where did the money go? I don't know. That should be a concern for people. I mean, you want to ask your rep and say, hey, why do you condone this behavior? Like, this is a big deal. Anyway, it's a big deal. So, we're really going to be getting in deep in education. I'm going to publish that story about the money that the General Assembly stole from early childhood. And when I write this stuff, share it and use it to call and ask questions and talk to your principals. I flat talk to some principals. And I mean, if you think the principals are happy with the General Assembly or the superintendent, you crazy. I think it's funny that Mark Johnson goes and visits all these places because I'm like, I know these people. I go to the schools and they're hanging those damn Team Beat posters in the bathroom. Like, spending thousands of dollars on glossy photos? So annoying. I mean, it's a slap in the face when teachers are like, oh my gosh, I can't even make copies. I see why you hit a wall with the whole thing. I know, it's exhausting. Oh God, Amos is crying over that damn blanket. Amos, the blankie. These are real problems in the Wood house. It's got to dry, honey. Do you want to go on the golf cart? See y'all later. Let me get back to real life.